This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
And we're back for another episode of Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody, and with me are Kyle and Ken.
Hello.
Ken.
I don't get a song.
Happy Friday,
Yeah.
everyone.
I don't have a playful song for you yet.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. I demand a song, Cody.
Okay. I told you were the hero that I needed. What was that? Not the hero I wanted, but the hero I needed earlier.
Because of the mask that I was wearing earlier.
You were my masked crusader coming in to do work.
All right. That works.
Fine.
Just felt a little offended. But...
Snapping necks and cashing checks.
I'll find you a song.
I hope so. I would like that very much.
So what have we got on the agenda for today, gentlemen? An action-packed, fully stocked, ready, loaded
Yeah, I would say
podcast?
so.
Somebody's excited because she actually watched the movie she was supposed to
Yes,
watch.
I did.
Did she actually?
I watched it.
Wow. I mean, we can jump right into that if you
No
like.
anxiety this week at all.
That's
Tune in
amazing.
next week to watch the anxiety-ridden Cody.
Yeah.
Remember that she forgot
Then
to
we'll
watch
start it all
the
over
movie she was
again.
supposed
Yep.
to.
He should have heard me last week when I was going through our notes, like, what are we going to talk about? And then I got to the part and I was like, oh no.
You're like, oh, God.
Just a week
Oh, no.
out of her office like she
Yeah.
fell down a well.
I let it escape out of my mind.
Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about that part of our show now. I don't know. It just slipped my mind. So this is a very big surprise for me.
I was so ready. I was like, no one's going to get me this week.
Well, congratulations.
I don't know if I could stomach any more Goodfellas. Not this week.
Well, Vertigo couldn't have been as bad as Goodfellas, right?
It was so boring. It was so slow and boring. And none of the characters are good. They're all just sad, pathetic people. All of them. The only one that got away okay in the end was the murderer.
Yeah, true.
He's living life off his deceased wife's, family fortune.
Mm-hmm.
He's fine. The murderer is the best character.
Maybe
in
he
it.
was the hero all along.
He's the smartest one in that movie.
He's the hero
A
we
little
needed
bit,
in
yeah.
that movie.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we can talk about that later.
I mean, this could have been the
Sounds
conversation
terrible.
right now.
Sounds like we already talked about it.
Okay. Yeah. So
Another
I
classic
watched-
that Cody just throws down the garbage
Yeah.
chute.
watched Vertigo, and I had no idea what it was about at all.
Mhm.
For some reason, I thought there would be more tall buildings, but all the buildings people get thrown off of are pretty short.
I mean, they all die when they throw them
Yeah.
off,
But
but
tall enough.
they're tall
I
enough
guess,
to
but
kill
it's
someone.
it's a bell tower. Come on, it's a Spanish mission bell tower.
No, it could have been a pretty high tower. You never know.
I don't know.
You're judging it from a distance.
So this is what I don't like about each of the characters. Poor Midge, who is just so in love with Johnny or Scotty or whatever his name was, and she just pines after him, and she doesn't live her life, and she just is his little best friend and puppy until he finally loses it, and then she's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, yeah, you kind of wasted your life, Midge. So
I did like Midge a lot.
really,
I mean, I felt for her. I felt bad.
I was so.
It was her own
Sad.
doing, but
Yeah.
I felt bad.
And then she paints herself in the painting, and then like has a freak out when he doesn't think it's funny. And I'm like, oh, Midge, he was never gonna think that was funny. Like,
Honestly, even I saw the pain and I was like, oof,
yeah,
oof, Midge.
awkward and rough. Oh, poor
Take a
Midge.
hint, buddy.
And then what was his name? Johnny.
I actually
was
don't
Johnny,
remember what his
right?
name is.
Scotty was his nickname because
Yeah.
he was Scottish.
Okay, well, he sounded like the whole time he talks, he sounds like he just had dental surgery and has cotton in his mouth.
I love the way he talks.
Oh,
I love it. It's so part of the time, and it just sucks you right into the movie.
how does
Love
that
it.
man who is old, he is way older than the women in his life, get two women to just fall in love with him? And he has nothing going for him.
It's got that
He
charisma.
does no body, no charisma. He just
He
no
goes
original thoughts.
Yeah, he goes catatonic for an unspecified amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know if it's
a year.
Was it a year?
Yeah, it's a year. Yeah.
Is it exactly 1 year?
Yeah.
365 days.
It was a quick line, but I think they did say about a year.
It was a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. There he goes.
But I agree, they did gloss over that pretty quickly.
So I'm like, I can.
Slips into mania.
Yeah, I'm like, I can see why you were used in this murder plot. You dumb guy. I was gonna say a curse word right there. Okay, then we have the bad husband guy who actually murdered his wife. And
threw
her dead body off the bell tower.
Her dead body up there
in the suit. All like no one would notice that the body was super cold instantly. Rigor mortis probably had set in, and she might have been smelly by then. But okay, plot hole. We won't go with plot holes there.
I am not currently divorced.
Yeah,
but knowing people who are. I could see why and how he got the energy, like a mother lifting the car off her young.
Like so excited.
He was so excited to throw his already dead wife's body off of that thing. He was
Money!
he probably jogged up those stairs.
Yeah.
It's like, let's do this.
He felt the weight off his shoulders.
Literally.
Yeah, he threw it off. And I love when he's telling the guy at the beginning about the story, and he's like, she just goes off into these planes, so I need you to follow her. But it's okay. We're happily married and very in love. Like who happily married and very much in love has somebody follow their wife? I'm like, that should have been
Well, you would think him until turn of events.
Red flag number 1.
Ken saying to his wife, "No one ever, no one's ever followed you.
No,
ever.
It's happily married,
happily
and in
married
love with their wife.
Totally,
so happy.
Yeah,
never been followed.
And then we'll get to the wife. Or Judy, some poor Kansas girl coming to San Francisco trying to make it big.
What a job she had.
Falls in love with this ruthless businessman, becomes his mistress, and then falls in love with a dopey guy that gets caught up in their murder plot. And then a nun scares her and she falls off the clock tower or bell tower. Gosh.
I get it. I went to Catholic school. Nuns are scary.
Her changing herself though for that guy being like, why I know I look like her, but why are you doing this? Okay, I'll do it. No,
just auto whim.
Just so much emotional abusive things going on.
I did love how the nun was so unfazed when she was up on the clock tower. She just flies off. She's like, not another one. All right, I'll ring the bell.
Again? Yeah. Another dead woman?
Another one fell off.
I'm surprised you made it all the way up here this time.
It's like those doctors in Russia jumping out of buildings. Yeah. How many times does this happen? Well, like 4 times this week. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. I don't know why this keeps happening.
It's an off week for them.
I just like to stand in this corner and scare people when they get too close to the edge.
I will say, watching the movie now, when it comes to like all the love stuff, it's definitely toxic. That is
so
plain
toxic.
Simply toxic. Might have been a different time. Might have been romantic in that time.
One of my favorite lines was when they went to the bookshop and the bookseller was telling them about Carlotta and the whole history, and he's like, you could do that to a woman back then, just use them and leave them. Like, I'm pretty sure you could do that to women in the 30s when this was made or the 40s or whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what's happening in the plot.
I guess they were trying to be more ahead of the times, and it backfired.
You could do that to women back then.
The librarian's like,
as he
all right.
smokes inside the bookstore.
Yeah, that was. Cody and I were very excited to see Hail Caesar when it came out 3 years ago, the George Clooney communist movie. And it starts off with Josh Brolin slapping the hell out of some actress.
Yeah.
Right.
Just beats the hell out of her front hand, backhand. And that sets the tone for a movie that is a comedy after that.
Yeah.
He slaps her silly for 30 seconds.
I think the part was supposed to be funny.
From then on, it's a comedy.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay.
We got the slapstick out of the way.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so Cody's on to her next big adventure.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna culture you up yet, baby.
This is not fun.
One of these you gotta stick the landing on. One of these you gotta like.
Okay, for this next one, since you stuck it out with Vertigo, you did such a good job. We're gonna let you pick your own off the list, all 100. You gotta go through and see what works.
Why do we have to be off this list?
Because these are the top.
If
movies.
we have to pick a list.
Okay.
So this is the list we're using.
What do you want to do?
Something you haven't seen. So, Annie Hall, Easy Rider, Platoon, Sophie's Choice. Oh God. There's Goodfellas again.
No.
King Kong, 1933.
I don't like King Kong because I've seen the end where they shoot him, and I just don't like that.
I saw Bringing Up Baby. You might like Bringing Up Baby.
A Streetcar Named Desire, something else for you to fall asleep during.
Gosh.
Oh no, we'll look at it. We've gotten.
I could try to stomach the original Blade Runner. Is that on the list?
It is.
It is.
Number 97 out of 100.
If you thought Singing in the Rain was long.
Is Blade Runner long?
Oh, the director's cut's like almost 4 hours.
Okay, what on the list is short? Let's start there.
Singing in the Rain. With a whopping 84 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. What is the shortest?
We're gonna have to find. We'll do some more diligence on this. It's definitely not Doctor Strangelove. Or
honestly, Goodfellas is still long.
Yeah, it's still long too. We'll do some digging. Godfather, very short. Apocalypse Now, it probably comes right under 4.5 hours. I think
this is the worst list.
It's supposed to be the best list.
This is the worst list.
Speaking of the worst list, we have the list of all of our postponed movies to go through.
Yes.
Cody,
worst of the worst.
Let us happen.
Okay.
Let it go.
To be fair, we're scraping the barrel on postponed films now. So nothing that I feel like anybody's really missing out on, but
no offense.
No offense.
What do you mean? Barb and Star is on here. I cannot wait.
Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
Yep, moved to July of 2021. Spiral moved to May of 2021. The High Note is going to video on demand. Fatal, it moved to October of this year.
Fatale. There's an E on the end.
Okay.
Fatal.
Fatale.
I would pronounce it the same way.
It's the Mortal Kombat sequel.
Fatality.
That would be awesome.
I would watch that.
I watched a video game trailer for the new Mortal Kombat game. I'm like, this looks so good. I don't want to play that game, but I would be excited for a new movie. I just don't like killing, like, if that's all you do in the game is just kill each other.
I'm pretty sure it's in production in Australia right now.
That'd be awesome.
I think that is right. Yeah. Probably from Paramount.
Warner Brothers owns the rights.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Paramount.
Annabella moved to August of this year. Paramount's The Trial of Chicago 7 moved to September. And Roadside's The Courier moved to August of this year. So, good. So, there's 4. Still in this year.
Yeah, lots of Lionsgate titles kind of moved to end of 2020, beginning of 2021. But surprisingly, there's movies actually being placed in the second half of this year. So, hey, progress.
Lionsgate is trying to settle again into their sweet spot of August, September, October.
Yeah.
But now they've got to compete with Paramount and Warner Brothers and Disney. And
they're like, oh, darn
it's like, oh, yeah, the fall. We're good in the fall until Wonder Woman comes out at the same time.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Well, they're like, now it's enough time for us to get our house in order because there's some restructuring going on for hopeful sale. They keep saying that Lionsgate is one of those studios to get picked off by a bigger one, but now with the virus, I don't know if that's going to happen.
And Disney's having a hard enough time stomaching all these Fox products that have been finished.
Yeah.
On top of
that'd be the most unlike Disney buys Lionsgate and throws it in the trash.
just to get it off the release schedule.
Just to get them out of their way.
Yeah.
Because they took a weekend they wanted. We'll just buy them and throw them away.
Yeah. What else is in news?
Cody's favorite director.
Yeah, Taika Waititi is going to make a Star Wars movie. Eventually, maybe sometime. Yay.
I mean, It sure
this
made
keeps him from making more of What We Do in the Shadows. I'm going to be pissed.
That is true. I was worried that he still isn't going to do other projects, but yeah,
where they're
Disney,
actually good and funny.
I mean, sure. Yeah.
Well, for Star Wars people, this has got to drive them absolutely crazy because they just want J.J. Abrams to make all of the Star Wars movies moving forward, right? Well,
I don't want him to touch another Star Wars
hated
movie.
Bryan Johnson, though, right?
They hated everyone.
They hated everyone, but I would gladly take Rian Johnson back than have J.J. Abrams. That Rise of Skywalker is just so bad. I can't go back.
True.
So disappointing. There's, and I thought after first seeing it, I was a little excited. I liked some things, but now that time has gone on, and during COVID-19, if I can't even bring myself to be like, yay, Star Wars, then then you ruined it for me.
You ruined it.
I do think this will make Star Wars fans happy because everyone loves Taika. I don't know a single person that's like, oh, what a bad director.
Right.
Like, no, Disney hired him because they knew everyone likes him, and he's done so well for Disney. So
I mean, I thought Ragnarok was okay, but I hated how they blew up the planet, and so I'm like, what are we gonna blow up in Star Wars now?
I don't think that's Taika's first idea. It's like, what am I gonna blow up
what
this
am I gonna
time?
ruin and completely?
So who's your Star Wars director? Who do you want? Who's the person?
I think
Taika.
I want a completely unknown, just storyteller based.
I have a thought on this.
Okay.
I mean, that was Taika before Ragnarok. Just saying.
What's the most iconic scene from Star Wars? It's "I am your father."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's the most iconic scene.
Yeah.
But that may be one of the biggest twists in film history.
Okay.
Like up
Agreed.
there.
Yeah.
Who also does the best twists in film history?
M. Night Shyamalan.
An M. Night Shyamalan Star Wars, where you have, I mean, he's not even grounded in reality, and then you add Star Wars on top of it. Like all of a sudden, there's magic in Star Wars universe. Then Mark Wahlberg's getting run over by a lawnmower, and there's a werewolf. It would be amazing.
Bruce Willis comes in.
Yeah.
Turns out he's a Jedi.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson's in a wheelchair, and then he stands up. It's very confusing.
But it would make for an entertaining Star Wars movie, I gotta say.
You gotta think outside the box here.
that just made her cringe completely.
Okay, I want George Lucas back now. You're just ruined
She's so
this
desperate
for me.
she wants George Lucas back.
I want him to come back.
He's not coming back, Cody. I'm sorry.
I would take him back.
Taika is starting from
I
scratch.
can actually go back and watch the prequels. I'm just having such a hard time going back and wanting to watch Rise of Skywalker.
You don't have to watch Rise of Skywalker. No one's making you.
It's so bad.
I mean, welcome aboard the ship, but no one's making you here.
I hate this because I hated Last Jedi so much because they made old man Luke Skywalker so bitter and he died at the end.
And now that you got worse, a taste of worse, you're like, you know what? Rian Johnson made some good points.
I could probably go back to that.
He made some good points. Luke should have been cranky.
He should have just done the 9th one. Or Colin Trevorrow should have just done the 9th one the way he wanted it.
Script did sound pretty good.
It did sound really good.
Yeah.
So much better.
The guy who redid Jurassic Park and called it Jurassic World?
Yeah, I take that guy.
Jurassic World was a fun time. It was good.
It was the same movie.
Well, yeah, but...
But it had an Indominus Rex. A genetically hybrid T-Rex. Because a genetic hybrid T-Rex from before was just not genetically hybrid enough.
Well, now you're sounding like the writers who did Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, take
okay.
it down a notch.
That's what it's sounding like now.
Cross the line.
Yeah, that's where you do
When
cross
it's
the
bigger
line.
and more dangerous. Yeah. Volcano? Yeah, volcano. What's bigger
Blow
than
it all up.
What's more dangerous than a dinosaur? Volcano?
I mean, yeah, with Taika, it makes sense why they hired him.
Oh,
And there's nothing known
bad.
about this movie, but I have confidence
I will
in
get
him.
really excited about the next Star Wars movie when I have time. But I'm just not... Like, Rise of Skywalker really dampened it for me. I'm not excited.
No, I still feel Star Wars fatigued a bit.
I don't
for
even
sure.
want to play the Lego Star Wars game with the kids. Because I don't...
Oh, no.
I just don't want to.
I mean,
I've not
that's
even
fine.
watched Mandalorian. Because I just...
I mean, were you gonna anyway?
No. but I've not done it.
All right.
Because I will not get Disney Plus, but if it ever comes out later.
So
I'm just saying I don't have that enthusiastic like, oh, I really should get it. Like it hasn't worn me down to be like, I'll spend the $8 for Disney Plus.
Sure.
Yet.
Yeah.
So I'm fatigued on that.
We would be more excited if we weren't Star Wars fatigued. I think that's what we're getting at.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe I'm just all virus fatigued. Like nothing sounds good right now. I'm not super excited for anything. Maybe Wonder Woman. I'm glad she's coming back.
Me too.
I'm actually kind of strangely excited for Top Gun. And I didn't think I would
How
like
could you
that.
not be excited for that?
I was going to say, Ken, aren't you really excited for Top Gun?
I am so excited.
Just Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Speaking of Tom Cruise.
Oh, you beat me by a second.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Gentlemen,
think you beat Ken
let's
by a
talk
second.
Tom Cruise.
The greatest idea in the history of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Second only to M. Night Shyamalan's Star Wars 10.
Nope.
Is Tom Cruise is teaming with NASA, SpaceX, and is going to film a movie exclusively in outer freaking space.
Do you think it's going to be a Mission Impossible movie?
It could be a mission probable. It could be him sitting there floating in outer space doing yoga. I do not care. I'm so excited.
Could be Top Gun 3. Could be any of his movies.
Space Force, Top Gun?
Yeah.
It could be that elf movie that you love that he's in. Far and Away. Is that the one?
No, that's the one, the Irish one.
Well, it could be Far and Away in outer space.
Legend?
Okay. Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
something
And
like
I would
that?
still watch that.
Legendary? Legend? I don't know. I don't
Well,
obviously don't love the elf movie. I just remember him being in it.
Seeing the headlines for this, I was like, oh, of course he would. Like, there's nothing surprising. I'm just surprised that it's not for Mission Impossible.
That's exactly what I said to Cody. If you could pick an actor who was going to film a movie in actual outer space, who would it be? If you had to guess who was going to do it?
First, it would be Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And then I would just assume Dwayne Johnson.
Just because he's that big?
Yeah.
He technically was in outer space.
He'd be excited to do it. No,
Tom Cruise or Dwayne Johnson?
Both.
Both, right.
My first thought was, I think Tom Cruise sits down and he's like, I want to be the greatest actor, not on talent, just on pure balls. Balls, I'm the greatest actor ever.
I mean, he does love the movie-going experience. He does love giving people, some realism and to, feel those action moments for sure.
Do you think there's this idea that if he goes to outer space, his ligaments will stretch out and he'll be 5'10" when he comes back? So he's thinking about that too.
Oh, that's a dream of his. That's what he's thinking.
Come back way taller.
I just wonder what studio is going to be attached to this, because I don't think there is one yet. But I don't know who would be sure, we'll give you millions of dollars
or what
to go to
company's
space.
going to insure it.
That too.
It's one of the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah.
I'm sure insurance to do any movie with him is probably a lot.
Through the roof.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're just going to fly you to space on a SpaceX rocket. Has SpaceX rockets really been viable?
I have no idea.
Yeah. No,
Or do they have to still go with the Russian ones?
No, they're releasing their new shuttle this year that NASA's going to use.
Okay.
2020 is the year they're going to introduce their
the
new
Space
shuttle.
Force shuttle?
And Boeing has their shuttle, and so it's going to be a reasonably reliable mode of transportation for them to get there and back. But to put somebody who's worth $500 million on it and is the face of literally a face of a religion, and then all of a sudden
maybe that's who's insuring
something
it.
happens and he blows up in the heavens. This is not going to end well. But I will watch the hell out of this movie, no matter what it is. It could be Ben-Hur in space, and I'll watch it.
Is Ben-Hur a long movie?
So
we're gonna find out.
Oh no, I haven't picked one yet. Just asking.
It is on the list though, so good catch. Good catch.
Is any Tom Cruise films on the top 100?
Days of Thunder.
The racing one?
No, it's not on there. But if you watch it, I'll give you a pass for the week.
Tempting.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. She's like anything.
This is turning into torture, Cody, with a movie.
Is it 90 minutes? I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, that was the best news this week was
Yeah.
Tom Cruise in outer freaking space.
It was the news we needed. Let's be real. We needed that pick-me-up. All of us did.
Yeah.
And I really hope this happens.
There's really not a lot of other news. So that was the fun stuff. Otherwise, it's Sony and IMAX are going to partner to release films with it, IMAX Enhanced. Is this a new streaming service?
I was trying to figure that out. I can't tell if this is a new streaming service or if they're using IMAX Enhanced technology to make their movies more enhanced for streaming services. But they were saying that this is going to be starting with like new and upcoming releases.
I wonder if it's an app that goes along with it.
Yeah, can I get an IMAX on my normally sized phone?
Right.
So I can experience my normally sized phone video in IMAX somehow?
No, I meant like an app like you watch the movie and then punch in this code and get bonus content.
Maybe
but you have to have an IMAX related code.
If you could do this, like plop it in and go into VR, it'd be cool to get an IMAX perspective of a film from virtual reality.
For people that aren't scared of heights, sure.
Yeah, IMAX would be fine. If you're sitting in a theater watching it. Yeah,
I like to see you in virtual reality.
No, thank you.
Yeah. It'd be awesome.
Would you have a fear of virtual reality?
No, I don't like heights.
He doesn't like heights.
So she would automatically put me on the top of a building.
Oh, yeah, super high.
And I don't like snakes, so there'd be a snake behind me pushing me off the building.
It's like, pick your poison.
That was exactly what would happen. That's the first thing she would torture me immediately.
I would do it very beautifully. Sweeping huge landscapes. You'd be on the top of a mountain looking down sheer cliff to a beautiful river below.
I think he'll still be scared.
And a king cobra behind me getting ready to go.
No, you just think that. I would definitely have wrestling bushes, though. No snake,
hinting that there could have been a snake there, but there probably isn't.
That's up to him. Where he thinks it could be a bunny. It could be a mountain goat.
You never know, Ken.
Yeah.
I know.
Truth be told, like I kept looking more into like the IMAX Enhanced thing and people writing up on it, and I'm pretty sure like most people don't know what this even means. Like they're saying like, it's a platform, but it's going to be on like streaming services. I'm like, where are you people going with this?
I'm surprised Sony doesn't really know either.
They're like, we don't know what IMAX is doing, but here, let's partner with them.
Yeah.
Speaking of film companies that don't know anything, turns out Universal may have been wrong in their $100 million assessment of Trolls World Tour.
Could make $100 million, and that's it. No, the accounting thing is interesting with Universal. We can never verify exactly how much it made in its premium VOD because they don't have to report anything. But what's kind of interesting is when you look at the downstream revenue of it, it's going to be premium VOD. Okay, $20, you get it for 48-hour rental. And then traditionally, you would be within a theatrical window of, say, 90 days, and then it would go to DVD sales. Well, DVD sales would be like $20. Are you really going to spend $20 to buy a movie you just rented for $20? So now you have a $40 investment into it? I don't know. I don't know how many people are really going to want to do that. And then the rentals usually go to like the $6.99 video on demand price for a regular rental. And I can't imagine you wanting to go spend $6 in addition to something you've already rented for $20. So analysts are thinking that it's just not going to equal very much money down the road for it. Yeah. And then the really interesting thing is, a lot of movie stars forego upfront costs to keep the budgets down so they can participate on the back end profits. But if there's no theatrical profits and no way to actually account for how much you actually made, Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick who are supposed to get back end profits. I don't think they won't receive anything, but now it's going to have to be negotiated out because they were not told ahead of time that Universal is going to do the video on demand.
Yeah, speaking of these back end numbers, it just came out this week that Universal's yesterday was a budget of $25 million and grossed $153 million worldwide, which seems like great numbers. Seems like there's a lot of room in there to count for profitability.
Even $150 million worldwide, and you say they got to keep 60% of that. That's probably pretty generous because they get to keep a little bit.
Yeah.
They keep less in Europe and way less in China than that. But say they keep 60%. So what is that?
You could call me into math on the air.
Yeah. You're my
That's
math
not what
brain.
we do here. We don't do
That's
math.
$92 million.
So that should
on a
have been
$25 million movie.
Right.
Should be great. Well, they just Universal just dropped their net profit participant sheet, which is how they pay off back end numbers, and recorded yesterday as a loss of $88 million.
Didn't
So-
Danny Boyle
Yeah,
he's not getting paid.
he did that movie for $25 million. Danny Boyle is a $5 million director,
Right.
minimum. If you want him on your movie, it's $5 million, unless he does it for points on the back end.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, I love this movie. We get to do it for the Beatles. I get to pick my cast and crew. I'll do it for points on the back end. Turns out he's got to pay Universal for
Right.
to make this movie. hopefully he got his per diem.
Yeah.
Now this one was
infamous Hollywood accounting.
this one was pretty egregious just because of Universal and Trolls World Tour. Right now. The one for the record books was Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix. Now that grossed $942 million worldwide, and Warner Brothers showed it at the very end as a loss of $167 million. It almost made $1 billion, and they showed it as a loss.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. They accounted for all the expenses of all the other Harry Potters
Including
up front in that
the
one.
flying dragons that were real, apparently.
Yeah. Who knew? No, Hollywood accounting is crazy. It's such a different industry. I'm sure there's wizardry in all industries with accounting and stuff that, really shady gray areas, but Hollywood is just so everybody knows
It's
what
on
you
another
make.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'll be sending all your subscription fees to Silver Screen Insider to the Cayman Islands next week.
Yeah. We will have a new postal address.
Yeah, Universal's pretty confident in their new strategies going forward, despite these numbers clearly indicating that it makes no sense to do it that way. I don't know.
Well, after an $88 million loss player, apparently it doesn't make sense to do it the old way either.
Yeah.
Well,
We're just gonna show it on the side of a building at Universal and see what happens.
Right.
maybe people will show up.
We're gonna make flip books of the movie and hand them out. Oh,
Well, we got anything else, guys?
No, I think that was all of the new stuff.
Pooped on Universal. Tom Cruise is making an outer space movie in outer space.
and Cody's gonna watch To Kill a Mockingbird
That one wouldn't be bad.
in
I
black and
remember
white.
watching that in school.
Oh, it's off the list then.
But how much does she remember?
I
Nope.
remember the trial.
Good
and
enough.
All right,
Creepy
trial's a good
house.
scene.
Creepy house next
A
door.
trial. At least she knew it was a trial. She didn't think it was about a bird.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it was a bird movie.
I remember they saved the bird at the end.
Yeah.
So what happens in Hunger Games Mockingjay?
I don't know.
You absolutely saw all of those.
I didn't. I didn't read the books. I did not see those movies at all.
It's been a long time since I've seen those. I don't remember
I didn't.
what happened in the last one.
I don't know what happens in any of them except she goes as tribute to protect her sister.
Well, you got the gist then.
Yeah.
Lionsgate wants to
and
make a...
she lives to the end with her little friend who gave her bread once as a child, and they decide not to kill each other, and now they showed mercy.
I think you're right. I
Isn't
think
that
that's
how
it
that
ends.
first one ends?
Something like that.
Okay. I don't know anything else about the other ones.
Well, Lionsgate wants to make a
I know-
prequel for Hunger
I
Games,
know
so you can
Liam-
go all the way back to the
I know
beginning.
Liam Hemsworth was in them.
He was trying to get on that Hemsworth hype train.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Are we choosing a new movie for Cody then, or are we just
I
gonna?
can't see the movie. So.
We're going to give her list.
Okay.
So
Star Wars.
something you haven't seen.
Oh.
You
That's not
clearly
how this
haven't been
works.
listening to the rules.
Darn. What's Cabaret?
I have no idea what Cabaret is.
No.
Liza Minnelli.
The African Queen. What's
Humphrey
that one?
Bogart.
Is that guy Humphrey Bogart? How long is that?
I don't have the run times on me.
Darn.
It's only titles and years.
Well,
That's all we're
Humphrey
giving
Bogart, I'm guessing it's short.
There's Tootsie, Dustin Hoffman as a crossdresser. After how much you love the first 5 minutes of Tu Wong Fu.
Yeah, that was funny. That was so weird to see Patrick Swayze that way.
Well, we'll need some.
And
we've got a few suggestions on our Facebook
John
page.
Leguizamo was the
And Wesley Snipes.
Well, yeah, Wesley Snipes. I was a departure for him. I've only ever seen Wesley Snipes as Blade. And that now, those are my two references.
Then yes, that would definitely be a departure.
Yeah,
The largest departure in cinema
I know.
history.
I was really shocked. I was like, what?
I thought this was Blade 3. What's going on here?
That's the one with Ryan Reynolds.
She's seen that.
Yeah.
and the trial scene from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Well, I see bits and pieces of things.
You see bits and pieces of the classics.
All right. Well, stay tuned next week to see what Cody has chosen
Silence
and
of the Lambs
watched.
is so good.
You
so
can't.
creepy.
If you've seen it, you can't watch it again. We're trying to add to your list, not just watch the same stuff all over again.
I liked the Hannibal movie with what was his name? The French guy. Anyways, I used to have a thing for him. Gaspard Ulliel. Yeah. That was before Ken.
So
that was pre-Ken.
Yeah.
That was pre-Ken.
So no Star Wars, no Indiana Joneses, no.
What's Chinatown? Oh, what's Some Like It Hot? Is that
Chinatown?
59? I bet that's short.
Roman Polanski and Jack Nicholson is Chinatown.
Okay.
Some Like It Hot is Marilyn Monroe.
I wonder if that's short.
She might like Some Like It Hot.
A 1959 comedy. Back when they knew what comedy was. Yeah. Take My Wife, Please.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? What's that?
Oh, your favorite actor.
Oh.
Jimmy Stewart.
Cottonmouth again? Okay, no thanks.
He appears in quite a lot of these.
Oh, gosh. His voice was so annoying. And he was like such an old man. Ugh. I was not believing that those women were falling in love with him.
You better believe it.
Ugh.
Clearly it happened.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest got Jack Nicholson in it. Isn't he psycho? Did they kill somebody in the sanitarium or whatever?
To wait to find out what Cody has chosen and her breakdown on one of the 100 greatest movies saying it was boring.
What's the Maltese Falcon about?
Please come back next week.
Is that us signing off, Ken?
It's time for your plug, Kyle, before Cody goes, ooh, what's that? Maltese Falcon. That sounds interesting.
That's a good idea. Well, thank you for those sticking around at the end of this riveting commentary that we're having. Please check us out on many podcast platforms as well as at our website, silverscreeninsider.com, where if you're a theater owner or manager and you need a little bit of assistance for your theater, then be sure to check us out there.
You make it sound like I've not seen any movies. I've seen a lot of movies.
Good, critically acclaimed films.
I am going to make a list of all the movies I have seen.
I'm pretty sure you have, and it was like 4.
So many. Kyle, you were barely around in the 90s.
I felt like I caught up.
Just barely around in the 90s, of which there are 4 movies on this list from the 90s.
Maybe I should watch Spartacus. Is that one short? 1960?
Please send your subscriptions Please send any ideas to our podcast post on Facebook. We've already gotten a few that we'll add to the list.
Stick pizza was the one that I was like, yeah, we should do that one.
You don't get to eat pizza while you're watching it. It's just the name of the movie.
I mean, you could if you want
Don't they,
but
like hang out in a pizza joint? Is that where one of the places things take place?
High Noon was not only filmed at noon.
All right, I'll be the one. I'm signing us off. Until next time.
Have a good weekend, everybody.